I have just received news that our other correspondent Shruti Priya is presently with the Assistant Police Commissioner of the JC Nagar subdivision. Let's see what he has to say.
Yes, Kanika, I'm presently with Mr. Alok Sinha, Assistant Commissioner of Police, JC Road Subdivision. Sir, thank you for coming. Well, what are the latest updates at the moment? As we all know, Shiv Shekhar has been taken into police custody. Has there been any confessions made by him? And do you think it is a case of dowry harassment?
Well, he has made a voluntary statement. I'm not permitted to tell all the facts while the investigation is still going on. But he basically says that there was no dowry harassment as such. He says that his wife was in depression because he could not afford a separate home from that of his mother.
So you mean to say Bhagya killed herself because she did not get a separate house?
Well, we cannot comment on this as of now, but the facts that we know are that Shiv Shekhar was a loom worker. He had an accident and could not support his family. Could not afford the rent of a separate house from that of his wife, from his mother, actually. And the Bhagya reportedly was in depression because of this. He says that late in the night she went back to his mother's place and instead of living separately from her mother-in-law. Now, after persuasion though, he was able to call her back. On 12th of Feb, on the day of incident, when he came back home, he found her entire body in flames.
So does this statement given by Shiv Shekhar matches the one lodged in FIR by Chinnamma?
Not entirely, which is why a thorough investigation is still going on. When there are any new discoveries made, we'll let the media know. For as of now, we cannot say anything.
Thank you so much for talking to us. That was Mr. Alok Sinha, Assistant Commissioner of Police. We also have a statement by Muni Raju, neighbor of Shiv Shekhar. Shruti Priya, CMR News with cameraman Nishal.
Mama, others went run their home. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿತ್ತು. ಐ ಸೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಬರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ನಟರಾಜ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಒನ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕಾರ್. ಐ ಮುನ್ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಮ್ಮ ಅದರ್ಸ್ carry Bhagya ಅವ್ರನ್ನ into the car. We went to Baptist Hospital. It's so sad what is going on. So many problems after their marriage. I hear every day they shout. Adu bittu I don't know anything.
We now have our correspondent, Suchin Moses, who is presently with Advocate Surup Rai Chowdhury, who has been kind enough to share with us his invaluable insights on this case. Let's hear his legal opinion.
Thank you, Kanika. Advocate Chowdhury, I'm sure you're aware of the Bhagya death investigation. What are your legal opinion on the matter?
Oh, well, this is just in the stages of investigation, so we really can't say what has actually happened. But then this might be a case of murder, it might be a case of simple suicide. But as we see that this is a case where there has been an unnatural death and has occurred within 7 years of marriage, and since the parents of Bhagya claim that there were demands of dowry, this might be a case of dowry death, in which instance this is a severe crime.
So Advocate Chowdhury, in the case that it is indeed a dowry death, then is the punishment more severe?
It is severe. It ranges from 7 years till life imprisonment, but then yes, it's the same for murder. But then we understand that not only her husband, but then the family members can also be booked under dowry death. So yes, this is a severe crime.
Thank you, Advocate Chowdhury, for your time. This is Suchin Moses for CMR TV and with cameraman Nishal. Back to you, Kanika.
Well, that is the story so far. There seem to be various angles to this tragic incident. Was Bhagya burnt alive by her own family members, or was she mercilessly driven to take her own life? Or was this just the dissatisfaction with her poor lifestyle that caused her to do this? Or is this just another ruthless murder for want of dowry? At this stage of the investigation, it is not possible to ascertain what the truth is. Whatever the truth, it is entirely appalling, tragic, and horrific. The police, however, are doing their job, and CMR News is following every step of this story. Until further updates, this is Kanika Patra saying thank you for watching and stay tuned.
After having finalized on a criminal case, we had to decide on what particular case to be given, what were the facts to be given, whether it should be a hypothetical one or a real life case. Many cases ranging from murder, dacoity, murder for gain, robbery, and dowry harassment, all these cases were looked into, and finally we decided on giving a case based on dowry death. The reasons for having finalized on this case was, firstly, a social angle to the problem. In addition to creating or making the students practice, and in addition to training the students in the art of cross-examination, we felt that in selecting this problem, we should also send across a social message, and that's why dowry. Probably to sensitize the professionals, the upcoming professionals, on the issue of dowry and the social evil that is dowry and the social malaise that is creating. And how an advocate in a court, whether he is able to stand apart from his personal prejudices and individually and independently deal a case, his professional attitude, his personal attitude, what is his prejudice, his bias, whether he gets into the case, whether he gets personal about the case, whether he feels sympathy towards the victim, or he feels commercial about exploiting the situation. All these aspects were taken into consideration in selecting this problem. In this competition, what is expected of a student is to analyze the given facts, and we have tried to reduce it as much as possible for the convenience of the students. You are supposed to be cross-examining two witnesses, one the complainant and secondly the investigating officer. The complainant, because to get into the facts of the case, get out of the mouth of the complainant as much facts as possible to your convenience, and investigating officer for the technicalities of CRPC and how investigation was done, whether it was done as per CRPC, and what were the loopholes or lacunas left by the investigating officer. The students are expected to ask questions to elicit answers which will suit their needs. In the sense, at the end of the day, you are expected to win the case for your client. So all that answers that comes out of the mouth of these two witnesses should be supporting your case. Now, how you do is left to you. You have been given the bare minimum facts and materials that is required for you to do it, and students, all the best, and may the best win.
We now have with us Dr. Pratima Prabhakar, the principal of CMR Law School. Hello, ma'am. What initiative did you take and what inspired you to conduct the cross-examination competition?
There are a lot of national moot courts and moot courts at college levels has been held, and also we have client counseling competitions. But this type of cross-examination competition, which no college has taken initiative so far. So it was there in our mind since long time, and this is one of our steps to realize our motto and our dream, fostering the finest legal minds. And I hope this must be probably the first of its kind in India happening, a competition on cross-examination. And this competition is planned and designed for the students of law to encourage their abilities to conduct in a professional manner as mandated by the requirements of the profession.
Thank you, ma'am. In what way is it going to help our students, ma'am?
Basically, this competition encourages and emphasizes the students and the participant to improve their ability to speak effectively and efficiently, to have a workable plan of action and ensure its effective implementation, to have a convincing point of law put forth before the court, and to correspond the necessity and respond accordingly. This made us, and also to perform their abilities in a dignified manner in this stressful environment. So this was our motto behind doing this competition.
Thank you so much, ma'am.